Today, Toronto's Pakistani community is mourning the loss of one of that country's most prominent and outspoken politicians. Yesterday, as you've been hearing, Salman Taseer was assassinated by one of his security guards following criticism of Pakistan's blasphemy laws. The governor of the Punjab province was well known as an advocate for women and religious minorities. Azmi Haq is a Toronto-based political strategy consultant. He was a friend of Salman Taseer. He's on the line with us now. Azmi Haq, good morning.
How are you, Matt?
I'm well, thanks. I'm sorry for your loss.
Well, we are all in a state of shock and mourning because we've lost a bold liberal voice in a country where we do not find bold liberal voices these days.
Tell us a bit more about your friend Salman Taseer.
Well, very political, lived life well and loved it well. He was a comrade of the late Prime Minister, who was also unfortunately assassinated, Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto. And he became more active in politics during the time of her exile in the 80s, late 80s. He was very prominent. He also got elected, and I remember I was being part of his campaign as an MP from the city of Lahore for the Punjab legislature, and became the leader of opposition to then Shehbaz Sharif's government. And Shehbaz Sharif, incidentally, is again the Premier or the Chief Minister of Punjab. And Salman was well versed in Punjab's politics, so President Zardari, whose PPP is in political power in Islamabad at the center, had brought him in against great protests by Nawaz Sharif and his party to provide that counterbalance as the governor of Punjab in that very important province.
As you yourself said, he was very outspoken. The guard who killed him said it was that outspokenness in terms of criticism of Pakistan's blasphemy laws that led to this assassination. How do those laws actually work?
Well, these laws, and Salman was very clear about it, and he actually gave an interview to international media a few days ago, that these are remnants of Ziaul Haq's dark days of martial law, Islamic martial law of the 1980s. And this law practically gives power to people to, literally, people have been lynching people because they say that anything that is said against the Quran or the Prophet Muhammad or God or the religion is punishable by death. And people have been, using mob justice in the pretext of this law. And also the courts have been sentencing people to harsh penalties, including death penalty. And Salman was very clear that this is a dark law. It needs to be amended. And definitely, he was a big proponent that any insult to any religion or any prophet should be treated as a crime, but definitely not punishable by death. And sadly, the obscurantism that in certain segments in that country is prevalent, did not like that, and forces of obscurantism took over.
Did he know how dangerous it was for him to make those statements?
I think he was very sure that he's making himself a target, but I think he had a sense of history when he said that. He understood that this was a bold moment. It required bravado, and it required wisdom. And to our delight and surprise, we found that a lot of people were beginning to rally around this sentiment that yes, this is a dark law and it needs to be altered.
This assassination, at a time when Pakistan is in a state of crisis. The liberal minority lost its parliamentary majority this weekend. There is increasing pressure from the United States to deal with issues of terrorism. And there's a sense that the country is on some form of a precipice. What's going on in Pakistan? And what are you hearing from people in this city's substantial Pakistani community about what's happening there?
Well, people have, for the most part this year and past year, have been under a state of shock because ever since Benazir Bhutto's assassination, it's been a bit of a downhill story, and the news just keeps getting depressing. Having said that, people also understand that Pakistan literally is the low-hanging fruit in the Islamic world because the tradition of democracy is strong there, and no matter how bad situation is, as and when people are allowed, and I use this word in caps locked, allowed to cast their vote, they still vote in liberal parties and forward-thinking parties generally, and therefore hope stays alive. I think Zardari, he may not be the best, but he was not dealt the best card to best hand to play his game, and I think with a little bit of sanity, the general sentiment is that the system should not be sent home packing. Let's say that.
But in the meantime, you've had somebody who is very prominent, somebody who was very popular. His life has been ended because he spoke out within that system. And there's the sense, I guess, from a lot of people that this is a sign that the military has more influence in Pakistan, and that, again, a situation which is very tenuous could further unravel.
Well, I think that nobody has anyways been under the illusion that the military is not influential. And the fact that the military has always called the shots is not a secret. It's just that the big question is that will Pakistan's fragile democracy remain resilient enough to survive this phase? And will gradually the military recede to its real constitutional role or not?
There are many, many people in this city and obviously right around the world who are paying close attention to it. Good to speak with you this morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Azmi Haq is a Toronto-based political strategy consultant.